A company that is deeply loved by many people for over 50 years has just announced that it is closing all of its stores and liquidating its inventory immediately without a bankruptcy filing. But this does come as a restructuring firm has taken over. It's important to understand that this is not an isolated event, but the people that are losing jobs, the companies that are losing a tenant in a store like this, announcements like this right here. This is much more than a story about a store closing in Parker, Colorado. You see, for decades, Dover Saddlery was the kind of company that most people assumed would always be around. It wasn't a flashy tech startup. It wasn't a trendy social media brand. It was a quiet, specialized retailer built around something deeply personal to its customers, the equestrian lifestyle. And you have to understand that the equestrian lifestyle, it's a very expensive lifestyle, usually held by people with a lot of money, right? Well, horse riders across America depended on Dover Saddlery for bridles, saddles, riding apparel, tack, and equipment. The company built its reputation over 50 years serving a loyal niche community, niche, that trusted the brand. But now the company is preparing to close all of its stores. And what that makes this story very special and important is that Dover Saddlery is not collapsing because people suddenly stopped loving horses. It's collapsing because the economy itself is changing, and you have to understand how it's changing and why, and then change before everyone figures it out. You see, across America right now, consumers are quietly pulling back on spending. Even higher income households are becoming cautious. When Americans see massive layoffs at major companies like Meta, Intuit, and other large corporations, the fear spreads quickly, and even among people who still have good jobs. People begin asking themselves the very difficult questions, and then they have to deal with the answers, like what if my industry slows down next? Or what if layoffs spread? What if I should I save money instead of spending it? What should I do? That psychological shift matters enormously. Hey, real quick, if you don't mind me throwing this out there, another shift that needs to change is, are you set up and ready to go crush it in the future? A lot of people try to get into master groups and master clubs and things like that, and they cost $10,000, $50,000. I set up a real estate master group where it includes all of my past real estate courses and all the future real estate courses all in one price, and group coaching calls once a month for the rest of the year. Links down below. It's only open for a couple days if you'd like to take a look at it. So let's get back to this story about Dover, right? And the psychology, right? Because the psychological shift matters enormously, not only in your mind, but you need to get to that shift before the general public does. You see, because once consumers become uncertain, discretionary spending is often the first thing they cut, and that has already begun because of high fuel prices. And unfortunately for Dover Saddlery, horseback riding is considered a discretionary expense. Families can delay buying new riding gear, right? Horse owners can postpone upgrades. Customers can stretch equipment longer before replacing it. And that's what's happening right now in the tack industry. When enough consumers make those decisions at the same time, businesses begin feeling pressure very quickly. A recent consumer survey showed that 1 in 4 Americans feel financially worse off than just 1 month earlier. The same survey found customers pulling back sharply on restaurants, entertainment, apparel, and other non-essential purchases. That creates a brutal environment for specialty retailers like Dover. Dover Saddlery's troubles escalated after the company went through multiple ownership changes and mounting financial pressure. Eventually, restructuring firm Gordon Brothers stepped in and prepared to liquidate stores and run going out of business sales nationwide. And surprisingly, the company actually never formally filed for bankruptcy. They're just done. It's over. Turn off the lights, shut the doors, lock them, and people don't have jobs. And that's becoming more common in today's economy. Many struggling retailers try to shrink, restructure, or quietly liquidate before entering bankruptcy court. Some chains simply close stores one by one while desperately searching for financing, or looking for buyers or investors willing to save their actual business. Dover Saddlery acknowledged in a warn notice that layoffs and closures could still depend on whether funding or a buyer could be secured before this action. But for employees, customers, and local communities, the damage is already being felt. More than 100 workers at the company's Massachusetts headquarters and distribution center are expected to lose their jobs. On top of that, you're going to have the stores closing. Stores are already posting goodbye notices like this one here from Parker, Colorado. In Wellington, Florida, one of the horse capitals of America, customers were greeted with emotional messages thanking them for years of loyalty as local stores are preparing to close. And Dover Saddlery is far from the only company facing these pressures. They are not alone. Across the country, retailers are quietly shutting stores, laying off employees, and reducing operations as customers become more defensive with their money. See, thousands of stores closed across the United States last year alone, and many more closures are expected as companies battle slower spending, higher operating costs, and rising debt pressure. And what makes this moment different is that many businesses are not falling all at once in a dramatic fashion. Instead, they are slowly bleeding out. And that's why it's important for you to realize this. If one location closes, then another, then inventory shrinks, then hiring freezes begin, then layoffs start happening quickly in the background. And when you notice this cycle of things happening in order, you can make money from this. Sometimes the public barely notices until an entire chain like this is nearly gone or closing overnight. This creates ripple effects throughout the economy. Commercial landlords, like I said before, lose tenants. Shopping centers lose foot traffic. Warehouse demand weakens because these companies don't need them. Truck shipments decline. Local tax revenue falls. And workers who lose jobs begin spending less themselves. That creates a very dangerous cycle, and we're here now. The weaker consumer spending becomes the more businesses actually struggle. And you're going to see this all over the stock market soon enough. Hey, if you got something out of this, thank you so much for hitting the subscribe button. And if you want to become part of the Real Estate Master Group, links down below. You're going to have a ton of courses at your disposal. So much information is going to hit you. And then you've got the group coaching calls to ask your questions from me directly every month throughout the entire year. And it's going to be exciting time. So links down below if you want to read all about it. It's only open for a couple days. I only do this twice a year. All right. With that being said, the Economic Ninja, Real Estate Ninja, is out.